Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Mohamed Muiz appoints Mohamed Shakil as a member of the Elections Commission following parliamentary approval of his nomination. Maldives and the United States discusses expanding cooperation in areas including economic development, investment, and maritime security as the two countries mark 60 years of formal diplomatic relations. And Minister of Fisheries, Agriculture and Ocean Resources Ahmed Shiam says more than $76 million has been dispersed to fishermen under the government's policy of paying for fish purchases within 48 hours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. Now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz appoints Mohamed Shakil as a member of the Elections Commission following parliamentary approval of his nomination.
Shakil took the oath of office during a ceremony held at the president's office. The oath was administered by Supreme Court Judge Muhammad Salim, after which Shakil signed the official declaration of oath. During the ceremony, President Muiz presented the letter of appointment to Shakil. The vacancy on the Elections Commission arose following the resignation of Muhammad Zahid from both his position as president and member of the commission. After applications were opened to fill the vacant seat, President Muiz nominated Shakil for the post and submitted his name to Parliament for approval. Parliament subsequently approved the appointment. Shakil brings previous experience within the Elections Commission, having served as a member from the 3rd of December 2014 to the 9th of May 2018. Prior to that, he served as Director General of the Commission from the 1st of September 2013 to the 3rd of December 2014. During his interview before Parliament's Committee on Independent Institutions, Shakil said he had resigned from the Commission in 2018 because he did not believe there was an environment that allowed him to carry out his duties independently. He stated that if a similar situation arose in the future, he would again choose to resign, stressing his commitment to independence. Shakil also told the committee that, if appointed, he would work independently and ensure that all political parties have opportunities to raise concerns and engage in dialogue with the Commission. With Shakil's appointment, the Elections Commission has returned to its full complement of 5 members. The current members of the Commission are Vice President Abdul Rahman Salah Rashid, Hassan Zakaria, Abdul Hasib Ismail, Rifat Abdullah, and Mohamed Shakil. The position of President of the Elections Commission remains vacant. Under the law, the President of the Maldives may appoint a President of the Elections Commission from among its members, subject to parliamentary approval.
The Maldives and the United States discusses expanding cooperation in areas including economic development, investment, and maritime security as the two countries mark 60 years of formal diplomatic relations. The discussions took place during a courtesy call by United States Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs, Paul Kapoor, on President Dr. Mohamed Muiz at the President's office. During the meeting, both sides highlighted the significance of the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the Maldives and the United States and explored ways to further strengthen the partnership built over the past 6 decades. Assistant Secretary Kapoor noted the United States' interest in broadening cooperation in areas of mutual interest, including economic development, increased investment, and maritime security. President Muiz expressed appreciation for the continued partnership and affirmed that, in line with the Maldives' first foreign policy, the Maldives remains open to development initiatives that bring tangible benefits to the country and contribute to economic diversification. The president also conveyed his gratitude for the United States' engagement with the Maldives and its interest in expanding bilateral cooperation. Both sides concluded the meeting by reaffirming their commitment to strengthening ties and continuing to work together for mutual benefit. Parliament approves the appointment of Mohammad Nizar as President of the Privatization and Corporatization Board, or PCB.
Nizar was appointed to the position by President Dr. Mohammad Muiz on the 30th of April last year, following the resignation of former PCB President Muhammad Anas. Under the law, appointments to the post of PCB President require parliamentary approval. Accordingly, President Muiz submitted Nizar's nomination to Parliament for endorsement. The nomination was reviewed by Parliament's State-Owned Enterprises Committee, which recommended that Nizar be approved for the position. Following the committee's recommendation, Parliament voted to approve the appointment, with all 49 members participating in the vote supporting the nomination. Nizar has more than 30 years of experience in international trade, corporate management, and public sector administration. He is regarded as a specialist in the corporatization of state-owned enterprises and in the oversight and management of public companies. Nizar previously served as president of the PCB from 2014 to 2019, during which he played a key role in implementing the government's privatization and corporatization agenda. He is also credited with contributing to efforts aimed at strengthening governance structures and improving the operational efficiency of state-owned enterprises. Prior to his work at the PCB, Nizar spent more than 2 decades at the State Trading Organization, or STO, where he held senior executive positions, including general manager and deputy director. During his tenure at STO, he was involved in several major projects, including the implementation of enterprise resource planning, or ERP systems, supply chain improvements, and the strengthening of international trade partnerships. Nizar has also served as a board member of companies, including Maldives Gas Private Limited and Maldives Structural Products Private Limited. In addition, he has contributed to several national committees focused on risk management, procurement, and corporate governance. Nizar holds a Master of Business Administration, or MBA, and a graduate certificate in Business Administration from the University of South Australia. He has also participated in numerous international training programs and forums related to corporate governance and the management of state-owned enterprises.
The Privatization and Corporatization Board, or PCB, announces the appointment of Zaina Abdullah as a member of its board, bringing aboard a seasoned professional with extensive expertise in banking, finance, and state-owned enterprise management. Zaina brings more than a decade of experience in banking and finance, with a particular specialization in corporate finance, Islamic banking, and governance of state-owned companies. She currently serves as head of corporate processing at Maldives Islamic Bank, or MIB, where she continues to play a pivotal role in the institution's operational framework. Prior to joining MIB, Zaina held the position of senior officer at PCB, where she was instrumental in monitoring and evaluating the performance of state-owned enterprises. Her responsibilities included detailed analysis of financial statements, budgets, and business plans, as well as executing administrative functions aimed at strengthening the operations of state-owned enterprises. In terms of education, Zaina completed her Master of Islamic Finance Practice from the International Center for Education in Islamic Finance in Malaysia. She holds a Bachelor of Commerce from the University of Pune, India. Her technical competencies span corporate financing, credit risk assessment, governance, regulatory compliance, and strategic management. Parliament approves the appointment of Hassan Zarir as Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises.
The approval follows President Dr. Mohammad Muiz's decision to appoint Zarir to the post on the 8th of June and submit his nomination to Parliament for endorsement as required under law. Under the Constitution, cabinet appointments must receive parliamentary approval before ministers can formally assume full legal authority. Following the President's nomination, the matter was referred to Parliament's Government Oversight Committee for review. After examining the nomination, the committee unanimously unanimously recommended that Zarir be approved for the position. The committee's recommendation was subsequently presented to Parliament, where the appointment was approved unanimously by all 49 members present during the sitting. Zarir previously served as Deputy Commissioner General and Commissioner General of the Maldives Inland Revenue Authority, or MIRA. He has extensive experience in the financial sector and holds a Bachelor of Accounting degree and a Master of Science in Finance from the International Islamic University Malaysia, or IIUM. With parliamentary approval now secured, Zarir formally assumes the position of Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises.
Minister of Fisheries, Agriculture and Ocean Resources Ahmad Chiam says more than $76 million has been dispersed to fishermen under the government's policy of paying for fish purchases within 48 hours.
The 48-hour payment policy is one of the key pledges of President Dr. Mohamed Muiz and forms part of the government's efforts to strengthen the fisheries sector and improve the livelihoods of fishermen. The government has previously stated that when the current administration assumed office in 2023, a substantial amount of outstanding payments remained owed to fishermen. According to the government, approximately $16.2 million in unpaid dues was outstanding at the time. Speaking at a press conference held at the President's office, Minister Chiam said fishermen have consistently received payments within 48 hours of their catch since December 2024. He revealed that a total of 1.18 billion Maldivian rupiah, equivalent to approximately $76.3 million had been dispersed to fishermen by the end of June under the scheme. The ministry reiterated the government's commitment to ensuring the long-term sustainability and growth of the fisheries industry. He noted that the administration is implementing a range of measures aimed at improving financial support and expanding opportunities for fishermen while strengthening the overall fisheries sector.
The Maldives is poised to dramatically expand its fish processing infrastructure with new canning and cold storage facilities set to raise the nation's processing capacity to around 80% of its catch.
State Minister for Fisheries, Agriculture and Ocean Resources Mohammad Muttalib announced that the ambitious plan will enable the country to process roughly 80% of the 120,000 tons of fish caught annually, up from the current 10 to 15% that receives value addition. In Felivaru, a new 100-ton per day canning and cold storage plant is under construction alongside the existing 50-ton per day facility. Cold storage works have been completed and the canning line is now in place. In Nilandu, a 50-ton fish processing facility is being built, dredging work has finished, and the plant is expected to be operational by 2028, while in Fiori, a 100-ton processing factory is under development with dredging currently underway. Once all facilities are online, the combined daily capacity will rise to 300 tons, Once all facilities are online, the combined daily capacity will rise to 300 tons, more than triple the present capacity, positioning the Maldives to process the bulk of its catch domestically. According to Muttalib, the Maldives earns roughly $98 million per year from fish exports. Government projections indicate that the expanded processing capacity could lift export earnings substantially, providing higher returns for fishermen and stimulating related sectors such as packaging, logistics, and tourism. The government aims to have the new plants fully operational by 2028.
In a strong endorsement of open scientific and intellectual discourse, the Minister of Arts, Culture and Heritage, Hina Walid, asserts that encouraging such productive debates is one of the most powerful steps a nation can take to secure its future. Speaking at the closing ceremony of a national debate competition organized by the Maldives National University, or MNU Students' Union, Minister Hina told attendees that intellectual insight, groundbreaking discoveries, and resilient leadership all emerge from rigorous scientific dialogue. The minister highlighted the pressing need for scientific conversations that can dissect that can dissect the nation's most urgent challenges. Minister Hina called on educators, policymakers, and community leaders to open minds and raise awareness on a wide array of topics, emphasizing that the light of scientific debate has historically propelled new discoveries and integrated them into the very fabric of nation building. She concluded her address by commending the MNU Student Union's executive team for organizing the competition, noting that the young organizers demonstrated skill and capability in fostering an environment where scientific discourse can thrive. Insights into business. Apple aims to release better and more TV shows and movies on its streaming service and in movie theaters, senior executive Eddie Q tells Reuters as he accepted an entertainment industry honor in France.
The iPhone maker began offering original TV series and films through the Apple TV Plus streaming app in 2019. The company found success with Oscar Best Picture winner Coda, box office blockbuster F1, and Emmy-winning shows such as The Studio and Ted Lasso.
Well, look, it's just early in the process. Right now we're in the process of you got to build the script. What's the story? And that's the current process. And, you know, I'm obviously optimistic. I know that we have a great team of folks working on it. And so I certainly expect that we'll get to a great place. But, it, you know, as I said, it takes a while to create. It's, you know, people don't, when you think about how you create, it starts with a blank sheet of paper. And you've got to develop from there.
Q, who oversees Apple's media and entertainment businesses, was recognized this week as the 2026 Entertainment Person of the Year at the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity. In an interview with Reuters, Q said that Apple's incoming chief executive, John Ternus, has been a huge supporter and lover of our content, and he expected the company's commitment to entertainment to continue. Q said writers are working on the script for a planned sequel to F1. The racing drama, starring Brad Pitt as a Formula One driver, hauled in more than $634 million at the global box office. Q added, Apple plans to make additional movies for its streaming services and for movie theaters. Last year, the company dropped the plus sign and renamed the streaming service Apple TV.
Insights into international affairs. International Atomic Energy Agency Chief Rafael Grossi says the UN nuclear watchdog will carry out inspections in Iran soon following an interim peace accord between the United States and Iran, but modalities have yet to be finalized.
A 14-point memorandum of understanding signed by the two sides last week mentions some broad agreements in principle to end the war. The interim accord paved the way for 60 days of talks aimed at hammering out thornier details, including issues related to Iran's nuclear program.
This has been signed, has been agreed. Paragraph 8 of this memorandum of understanding says explicitly that the nuclear activities that are going to be carried out with regards to the nuclear material facilities and will be supervised by the IAEA in all letters.
Iran has not let the IAEA, which polices its nuclear program, return to its most sensitive nuclear sites since the United States and Israel bombed them in June of last year. The IAEA has since inspected other sites, but it suspended inspections after a new wave of attacks started on February 28th. Iran has not informed the IAEA of how much of its enriched uranium survived the attacks or where it is. The IAEA estimates Iran had 440.9 kilograms or 972 pounds of uranium enriched to up to 60% before Israel launched the first attack on June 13th of last year.
The Republican majority U.S. Senate backs legislation to halt U.S. military action against Iran, but it was not immediately clear how it would affect the conflict as President Donald Trump's administration negotiates a peace agreement with the Islamic Republic.
The Senate voted 50 to 48 in favor of the concurrent resolution, which passed the House of Representatives early this month, reflecting growing concern, even among some of Trump's Republicans, about the unpopular conflict that began on February 28th.
Madam President, for years, Trump promised to put maximum pressure on Iran, but he ended up delivering maximum confusion, maximum chaos, maximum cost to the American people with his disastrous war. Every second this war continues, the costs to the American people go up. And this is the 10th time Democrats have forced Republicans to vote on a war powers resolution to end the war.
It was the first time both chambers of Congress had passed a resolution directing a president to remove U.S. armed forces from hostilities since the War Powers Resolution, more commonly known as the War Powers Act, was enacted in 1973. While likely to remain largely symbolic, the vote was a setback for Trump, who until recently had enjoyed near unanimous support from Republican members of Congress. It also comes as the administration is expected to ask Congress to authorize tens of billions of dollars to pay for the war. Trump's Republicans hold slim majorities in both the Senate and House, but a few have broken with the president on a handful of issues ahead of the midterm elections in November, which will determine whether the party will retain control of Congress.
Moving on to sports, former Brazil great Ronaldinho is set to return to the field after joining Italian club Ravenna FC, the club announces at an event in Miami.
The 2005 Ballon d'Or winner appeared alongside Ravenna FC owner Ignazio Cipriani, unveiling a jersey bearing his name as the club launched what it describes as a new chapter aimed at raising its international profile. Ronaldinho said his long-standing friendship with the Cipriani family played a key role in his decision to join the club. The move brings one of football's most recognizable figures to a club seeking to blend sporting ambitions with a broader cultural identity under Cipriani's leadership. Asked what influence he hopes to have on younger players, Ronaldinho said he wants his story to inspire others to pursue their own ambitions. Cipriani, who grew up in Ravenna, said Ronaldinho was a major influence on his generation.
He just inspired me and my whole generation to fall in love with the sport because of the things he did were so different from everybody else that played. So, it was always a dream and inspiration to play like him.
Ronaldinho won the 2002 World Cup with Brazil and enjoyed a decorated club career that included spells with Barcelona and AC Milan, earning a reputation as one of the game's most entertaining and skillful players. The announcement was made at Cipriani, Miami, where Ronaldinho signed jerseys, posed for photographs, and spoke with media as guests celebrated the club's latest high-profile signing.
To conclude, we take a look at lifestyle in Yemen, where Ali Qassim, a calligrapher in Sana'a, keeps the centuries-old tradition of handwriting the Quran alive, crafting each page with painstaking precision and care.
Working at his home, Qassim carefully dips his pen into the ink before forming each letter by hand. He said the process demands not only artistic skill, but also a deep understanding of the rules that govern the writing of the Quran, where every page, verse, and chapter must be precisely balanced. Producing a handwritten Quran requires years of practice and experimentation. Qassim said his early attempts helped him test different papers, pens, and techniques before embarking on the larger project of copying the Holy Book. He now uses specially treated paper designed for Quran manuscripts. Like traditionally burnished papers used by calligraphers in the past, modern industrially processed papers prevent ink from bleeding through to the reverse side of the page. The tradition of hand copying the Quran is historically and was once the primary means means of preserving and disseminating the Islamic holy book before the advent of printing technology. While printed copies are now widely available, handwritten Qur'ans continue to hold cultural, artistic, and spiritual significance. Despite the challenges facing Yemen after years of conflict and economic hardship, practitioners such as Qasim continue to preserve the art form, passing traditional techniques to a new generation and ensuring that the centuries-old craft of handwriting the Qur'an endures.
And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.